This is Steve Gill with your daily notes for January 30th, 2009. Well, fresh off the stimulus package passing in the House and now headed to the Senate, we've got another massive boondoggle federal program weaving its way back to the House from the U.S. Senate. It's the SCHIP program. Now, the SCHIP program is supposed to be a health care program for poor children in America. President Bush originally proposed expanding that program by $5 billion, and the Senate and the House decided to expand that number to $36 billion. But it's just not the cost that should disturb taxpayers. It's who's covered under this program for poor children. Poor is sort of easily defined, isn't it? Those that are impoverished, at least in the lower half of income in the United States. Well, not for the SCHIP proponents. SCHIP will actually expand poor coverage for poor children to those making as much as $83,000 a year, about $30,000 more than the median income in the United States. And because they've also put in some special exceptions, folks can deduct their housing, their food, their other costs, so they can actually be making as much as $100,000 and qualify as a poor family under the SCHIP funding that the U.S. Senate has now approved, thanks to 9 Republicans going along with the Democrats in passing it. Poor, newly defined by the senators in Washington as those making up to $100,000 a year. And what about children? Well, children is also a sort of a slippery, slimy term in Washington. Children, you might think, would be those under age 18, not according to SCHIP. Under this SCHIP plan for health care for children, poor children in particular, it expands up to age 30. And don't think that they're going to leave out illegal aliens. Illegal aliens also included under the guise of helping poor children afford health care. So children who aren't children, poor who aren't poor, and people who aren't even legally in this country will all benefit thanks to the U.S. Senate deciding to go along with a $36 billion expansion of yet another government program. 2 U.S. senators from Tennessee are among the 9 who voted for this plan. The Republicans in name only from Tennessee are Bob Corker and Lamar Alexander. 2 senators from Maine, Republicans in name only, Susan Collins and Olympia Snowe, also went along for the ride. When you look up at the voting board and see that you're voting with the Olympia Snowes, the Susan Collins, the Arlen Sphinxers of the U.S. Senate, you ought to know that you're not voting in a conservative way. SCHIP's going to be another boondoggle that Americans are going to be paying for generations to come. Just another example of how change in Washington really means no change at all. They're still giving away our money like it's their money. I'm Steve Gill. We'll talk more about it on Monday with more of the Gill Report.